you know what? I'm not gonna make these connections. I see Farhan here is very ashamed of having sex. He's very ashamed of making the thrusting move. He doesn't want to put himself in the position to be sexually shamed. He doesn't want to have sex. He feels that having sex in different positions is bad for his survival because he's not married yet. He can't have sex before marriage. So I'm not going to make this connection. I'm going to avoid this neuromuscular connection from being made, even though later on in his life, his glutes will be weak, he will have a really bad sex life because of the use it or lose it principle. He will have a lot of depression and frustration because he will have limp dick. His erections won't be hard. His inner strength, the core strength that comes from the fucking ass and the glutes and the adductors and the pelvic floor that breathe into your balls strength, I'm not gonna allow that for Farhan because he's a smart guy. This young old chap. He's a nice person. He listens to his parents. He listens to his society, his culture, his religion. Nah. This connection's not for him. Let's avoid it. That was my body speaking, specifically my body physiology, anatomy, which is responsible for the neuromuscular connection from the brain to the glutes. I remember watching an Elliot Hulse video. In this video, Elliot talked about a lot of things, specifically about ass gains, about glute gains, and how important it is to have a strong posterior chain. And I'm gonna get into this term posterior chain very soon. But namely, it's glutes, hamstrings, that lower body strength of these big muscles of your leg. Elliot talked about this. He said that when we are sexually shamed as kids, maybe what happens is that our body doesn't let these neuromuscular connections form. So even though your brain is functioning properly, it wants the sex muscles to be created so you can procreate and you can fuck your girlfriend and your wife like a rock star with the rock hard boners. But the sexual shaming, perhaps it doesn't permit those connections to be made. So even though your brain is giving the instruction to your butt to do the thrusting move and to fuck your girl, the connections just aren't there. Your glutes are sleeping. They're inactivated. And so those sex muscles, the pelvic floor muscles, the PC muscles that allow you to get an erection, the blood circulation that is needed in that part of your body just doesn't happen. And when I saw that video by Elliot, I started thinking, I was sexually shamed as a child. Now that I'm at strength camp, Elliot Hulse's strength camp, and I'm doing these exercises that require very heavy weights, deadlifts, squats, lunges, pull-ups, bench press. They're telling me to use my glutes, and I can't. They're telling me, Farhan, activate your glutes and your core. And glutes are a big part of the core. And I can't. I can't even feel them. They're asleep. They've been asleep for 32 years. As you're watching my video here, feel your glutes, squeeze them. Just really squeeze your ass. How do they feel? Are they mushy and soft? Or are they rock hard and firm? When you do a squat or even a bench press or a lunge or a deadlift, are you using your glutes and your hamstrings, which are part of your posterior chain? Are you using that? Is your posture good? What is happening in you? You already know, my name is Dr. Farhan Khawaja, aka Doc Testosterone. Today's video is about fitness, exercise. Not so you can get bigger and look good naked and all that. These things are important. Looks matter a lot. It's very, very important for you to look good and look gangster. But what I want to focus on in this video is what exercises, what fitness routines can you do to get your sex muscles activated so you can have good sex, so you can have amazing libido, so you can have circulation to those sex muscles. And also so you can have that core confidence that comes from the core, from that inner core. Because if you're not able to breathe properly, and we're going to get into breathing soon, if you don't have your muscles mobile and you don't have a free range of motion, if you don't have good posture, so when you wear that fucking blazer and you go out into the street, you look good and you carry yourself in a manner that people are attracted to you. If that is something that you're dealing with, then this video is great for you. Again, this is not how to become a bodybuilder or how to build your biceps and bullshit like that. Because the truth is this: if you want to have great confidence, great sexual performance, you need to work out your sex muscles. You need to work out your core inner deep muscles that may have been asleep for decades, like mine were. And look, I have been working on my glutes, on my hamstrings, on my lower back, on my posterior chain for years. And I can say so now that working on strengthening those muscles and mobilizing these muscles, allowing the blood circulation to happen to that pelvic floor, the breathing into your balls like Elliot teaches us, that is a huge game changer for me, and that has been key in boosting my testosterone levels because I'm using those big muscles, and I'm going to get into compound movements soon, and because I can feel that core, that sexual energy, that masculinity because of the movements that I perform. Today's video is going to be more of a Q&A format because I've received so many questions specifically about fitness, about what movements to do, what exercises to do at the gym so you don't waste your time and waste years and years just following some dumbass BS bodybuilder guy who's a fitness freak and who doesn't even know how to transform himself because he was born a fitness freak and he can do whatever he wants and he's going to look good. I have come a long way. I used to be skinny fat. I went from that to having a great body, which a lot of girls have told me looks fantastic. I have great endurance. I last long. I'm getting great boners. I have very high libido. I have very high confidence levels. Now, after a long time, a long journey of transformation in my body. So the bioenergetics that I've learned from my mentors, the specific fitness regimen that I've learned from personal trainers that I've had in different countries, and all of them from different backgrounds, I'm gonna bring all of that to you here in this video. So let's get started with some truths. Truth number one is a really basic one. Most people already know this. In order for you to increase your testosterone levels and reclaim your masculinity, you have to do compound full body movements. You have to strengthen and mobilize those muscles that are big. So your legs, your back, your butt. These are the muscles that you need to work out and strengthen, because testosterone boosting has to do with working out big muscles. Not your little bicep, no. Big muscles, and your shoulders included. These are the muscles that you need to work out to boost testosterone. This is the first truth. The second truth is this: isolation exercises are not good for boosting testosterone. Truth number three is you need to run really fast. You need to do sprints in order to boost testosterone and maximize it in an efficient way, rather than cardio, jogging, marathon type running, because that will actually decrease your testosterone levels. Now, the specific sprint exercises, let me tell you what they are. One thing you could do very simply is do a 10-second full-on balls out sprint where you are running your fastest, and then you rest for 30 seconds. Then you do another 10-second balls out sprint, then you rest for 30 seconds. If you just do that for 5 to 6 sets, you will have a quick peak in testosterone that day. When I used to do this when I was doing a stationary bike, so I would do stationary bike 10 seconds really fast, rest 30 seconds, then 10 seconds stationary bike really fast, rest 30 seconds, I got boners at the gym. Like full-on raging boners, and I was like looking around, what the fuck? So I know that the blood circulation that is going to happen in your sex muscles down there near your penis and near your pelvic floor, that is what you want if you want to increase that masculine energy, that inner energy. Now for the next truth. Now, this is a really basic one. If you've been doing strength training or bodybuilding for a while, you already know this. Use free weights, don't use machines. I personally have not used a machine in years. I just think it's for pussies. Simple as that, that's my truth. When you use free weights, you're allowing your body to have the natural movements of different joints, so you can increase your joint strength, you can increase your mobility, you can have a greater range of motion, because you're not letting a machine help you. Even if you're just getting started, don't use machines. Just use very light weights. It's okay. Don't give a fuck about what other people are doing at the gym or that you're getting judged. We have a tribe here, the testosterone truth seekers here. We are with you. So if you have to use a lightweight, we are there with you at the gym. Don't give a fuck about anyone else there. For the next truth is use your foam roller and your lacrosse ball and your conditioning bands if you don't already have these. A foam roller allows you to stretch out muscles that are tight. Me personally, I have been foam rolling for years. I learned a lot of that from Strength Camp. I learned it from Mark Novak specifically. If you don't know how to foam roll, if you don't know how to activate different muscles before you start exercising every day, go to my Instagram stories. Follow me, Doc Testosterone on Instagram. I show you exactly how to do these exercises. So a lot of the exercises that I talk about in this video, if you don't have any idea how to do them, follow me on Instagram and direct message me and I'll tell you exactly what to do. I'll make videos specifically for those movements for you. Because I don't know where you are in life. I don't know exactly what you know and what you don't know. A lot of these things are already on YouTube. I've already describe the exercise movements on YouTube myself or from the people I've interviewed, from bodybuilders and strength trainers that are good and that I trust that I've interviewed. So that is also something you can look at if you want to know exactly how to do these movements. But man, foam roll. Don't be an asshole jock idiot who spends decades lifting weights and then doesn't have any range of motion, is very stiff and walks around like an idiot beta male. Don't be one of those people. Don't be one of those people that's gonna put out your back or injure some part of your body because you are not stretched out and haven't activated all the muscles that you need to activate before you start strengthening those muscles. I take my time activating and stretching before I start working out. You know why? Because when I'm 80, I want to have great sex and I don't want to take testosterone injections. When I'm 80, I want to be lifting heavy weight and I want to look fucking good and I want to look like I'm 50. And so the exercises that I tell you are important for sustainability. When you age and become older and older, I want you to still exercise and look fucking good. Okay? The next truth is about your posture and about how much space you're taking. One thing that Stanford researchers actually found out is when you wear a blazer or when you wear something that makes your shoulders wide, that will boost your testosterone. We have also found that when you are in a power pose, when you have your arms spread about like that, you will get a very quick rise, peak in testosterone levels. Why? Because you are taking up more room. This boosts testosterone. Right before you go in an interview, an amazing thing to do is the power pose and take up a lot of room because you will get that quick peak in testosterone, quick peak in confidence, and then you will most likely do much better in your interview because now you're ready, you have that confidence, you have that self-love right before you go in. So these are things that you need to really, really pay attention to. Posture, spine health. When you stretch out using a foam roller, your spine will become straighter. You will have this amazing posture. So if you have confidence issues, if you have issues with dealing with your parents, your boss, girls, your relatives, your friends, bullies, having great posture, the way you carry yourself, the way you look masculine, has a lot to do with your attractiveness. Trust me on this, man. I cannot say enough about this. Posture is super, super important, and that is the truth. And look, man, all this stuff I'm telling you about fitness and exercise, I learned all of this the hard way. When I was a kid, my butt was really soft. I did not have great glutes. To the extent that my mom would make fun of me. Like she would touch my butt a little bit and she'd be like, "Oh, it's so soft. It's so soft. Why is your butt so soft?" And my brother's butt was really hard and firm. So I was super jealous of all this. Like I was really angry. It's like, why the fuck is my butt so soft? I hate this. My grandmother would ask my mom that, "Hey, look, when Farhan walks, why doesn't his butt make a nice shape in his pants?" You'll notice that when a girl walks by, you look at her ass and she makes this amazing form in her booty. And especially if she's wearing yoga pants, oh my God, it looks so good. Actually, Melanie, probably the second I saw her in her gym pants back in New York, I still remember that 1 second I saw her and I was like, holy shit, I gotta have her. My God, her booty looks good. Now, girls have this about guys too. My grandmother and my mom, they're not even from the West. They're from Pakistan and India. They notice this. I've asked my girlfriends in the past what they liked about me in the last 2-3 years. I've asked them, my booty. Girls notice guys' booties. Don't believe what bullshit society has conditioned you to believe, that booties don't matter in guys. Fuck that shit. Get a great booty. Get an amazing ass. When you walk, your pants need to make this nice little line like mine do. And I'm gonna teach you how to get there. So when you walk by and a girl sees you walk by like that, I want her to be impressed and want to fuck you. One question I get asked is, what is the importance of adductors? I always talk about adductors in my Instagram stories. Adductors are your inner leg muscles towards the top of your leg. So if you feel, let's say, your hamstring and you go to the inner side, those are your adductors. And then your butt on the outside, the external part of your body, that's abductors. Okay? So why are adductors so important? Why is it so important to foam roll on your adductor and make them mobile and strengthen them? Imagine you're doing a move where you are on your knees, the girl is right in front of you with her legs spread apart going this way, and you're fucking her like this, right? You're grabbing her ass and you're fucking her with your dick going in and out this way. Your adductors need to be very smooth. Blood flow has to happen very easily in them towards the upper part of your leg. If they're not mobile and if they are not stable and balanced, then you will get hurt as you're fucking her. Like, you won't be able to stay in that position for too long. You're gonna be too tight in that position, and this has happened to me in the past. So what did I do? I started mobilizing my adductor muscles, and now I can go for as long as I want, and I will not get tired, and I will not have any tightness. So that is the importance of adductor muscles. The next question I get asked a lot is, Farhan, why are feet so important? Why are you doing the lacrosse ball on the bottom of your feet? Why do you always talk about the big toe? Why is it so important? This is why. It's for balance. So your big toe, if you're not activating it during your deadlifts, your squats, your lunges, walking, just normal gait when you walk, if you're not activating your big toe, what's gonna happen is other muscles are gonna compensate for your glutes. So let me tell you what happened to me. I got something called a leg lift because I found out that my right leg is 6 millimeters shorter than my left leg. So I had this leg lift on my right leg for 2 years. Now what happened is, because my leg, imagine this is the floor and I'm walking, right? This is how feet should go, right? But if my toe is not being used, right? I don't have feet as mobile as they should be because of the lift, right? The lift makes the actual shoe not as smooth, not as flexible. So what was happening for 2 years is it only went up this much, right? It only went up this much instead of the whole thing. So because of that leg lift, I stopped using my right big toe as much as I should. And then you know what happened? My vastus medialis muscle, this is the medial or the inner part of the muscle that is right above your knee. Okay, it is part of the quadricep muscle, the vastus medialis, and it is on that medial part right above the knee. Because I was not using my big toe, my right butt wasn't being used. So it became really asymmetric. My left butt became strong and my right butt became weak because I was not using my big toe correctly. So then, for the last year and a half, I have had my leg lift out. I said, fuck that shit. I took it out and I started wearing Vibrams or Vibrams. These are toe shoes that allow you to do this type of motion when you're walking. And I always wear these at the gym. You've probably seen me. And I even wear it outside as I'm walking around. I don't give a fuck what anyone thinks, right? Because I care about my body. Now, when I started doing that without the leg lift, I started using my big toe. And props to my personal trainer at Equinox Toronto, Robin, who figured this out. She is a vegan strength trainer and I trained with her for 5 months when I was in Toronto. one-on-one 3 times a week. It was fantastic, fantastic training. Now that taught me the importance of the big toe, because we started strengthening my big toe specifically on the right side of my body, the right foot. And as I did that, my right glute started activating and I started getting less pain in my vestis medialis. I had pain in my vestis medialis for years. Randy, a neurosomatic therapist, Jibin, neurosomatic therapist, both in Florida, they both worked on that twice a week for me. And I always had pain. The strength trainers at strength camp did not figure that out. They did not figure out that my glutes weren't being activated. Your personal trainer might not figure it out either. You have to figure it out. I'm telling you right now, if you do not spend 15 to 20 to sometimes 30 minutes before starting your workout to activate your glutes properly, you are doing everything wrong. You want to feel your glutes during workouts. When you're doing your squat, you're doing your deadlift, you're doing your lunges, you're doing your bench press. Even during a bench press, you want to be able to push your feet into the ground, stabilize your feet, and use your butt to do that lift. You want to use your butt for everything. If you are someone who sits a lot, like we all do, then you will get your posterior chain, your hamstrings and your butt weak. Huge issue in our society. I was a computer programmer for years. My first degree was computer science and engineering. Before I did my master's and PhD in neuroscience, I was a programmer engineer. I worked at IBM, I worked at Nortel, I worked for a PhD student in my undergrad university, University of Texas. And I sat all the time. It took a toll on my posture. It took a toll on my health. I was sitting down for hours and hours programming. Thank God I got out of that shit. If you have to sit, then every half an hour you need to walk around. You need to do exercises that compensate for your bad posture and for your sitting for hours. If you have questions on that, post on the Facebook group and I'll tell you specific things to do to fix your posture from sitting. One quick tip I can tell you is sit at the edge of your chair. Don't let your hamstrings touch that base of the chair. Don't do it. If you want to read a great book, Becoming a Supple Leopard, read that book. Read Desk Bound. These are both by Dr. Kelly Starrett. I've read everything he's done. I've watched all of his podcasts. Amazing, amazing guy. And a lot of the things I'm bringing to you in this video, I learned from him. The next question that I always get is, Farhan, what about innovation, creativity? How are you so creative in your workouts? We've seen you do different things to strengthen your booty and your core that we've never seen before. This is why. I am now, thank God, so lucky to be aware of my body, aware of my breathing. So what I want you to do is when you do all of these exercises, and this is the truth, feel your breath throughout your body as you're doing them. So, for example, if you are about to do an exercise, about to do a movement, and you breathe in, that breathing in, right now, as I just breathed in, I felt air into my pelvic floor like a motherfucker. I did it again, right? You need to be able to feel that or you're gonna lose the game. That is what is important. Once you start doing that, during sex, you'll be able to switch from position to position, and your body is so mobile, it's so supple, that you don't have to really think about how to use that position to have sex with your girlfriend. You're gonna become so creative, so innovative. You're gonna be fucking her from this side and that side and upside down and sideways and this angle and that angle and this. It's gonna be crazy. It's gonna be better than any porn movie you've seen in the past because you're gonna be creating it. You're gonna be innovative in it like a real man should be. You're gonna be doing your own Kama Sutra type stuff. And bro, when you start doing that, the confidence that you will attain, the confidence you will gain from that is like no other. And this is the last truth I want to tell you before we get to the challenge. A lot of people ask me this question, Farhan, why are you extreme? Why do you go so extreme? And this is why. I have had an extreme poison, damage, setback in my life about my sexual health, about my confidence, about my productivity, about my focus. I've had a really, really bad experience. In order for me to reverse that extreme setback, that extreme deterioration, I have to be extreme. I always talk about this thing called a critical period. So when you study neuroscience, you'll learn this. The visual cortex and the auditory cortex and other senses have what is known as a critical period. For example, in vision. If you take a cat and you do monocular deprivation, you deprive one eye of light coming in the first couple of weeks of birth. The cat will be blind for life. Can't get it back. And this is true for babies, and this is true for humans as well. Monocular deprivation will make you blind for life. So that is called the critical period, because it is this critical period in the first few weeks of life where you need light to go into the eye if you want the rest of the circuitry in the brain to work and function for the rest of your life. The people who figured this out, Hubel and Wiesel, David Hubel was the main guy who figured all this out, and I was lucky enough to have lunch with him. My supervisor during my PhD is from Harvard, and he studied with David Hubel at Harvard, so I was very lucky to study in a crazy lab with him. And I'm telling you this because I gave all that up. I gave up job offers from Harvard Medical School, postdoctoral fellowship offers, to do what I'm doing today. My skin in the game is crazy. The amount of shit I've given up to be able to teach these things is mind-blowing, and you don't even realize it. I probably don't even realize this. So bro, the stuff I've sacrificed and whatever I'm teaching you, please apply to your life. Really, really work hard, man. Be fucking disciplined in your life. I'm with you. The whole tribe is with you. We are here together as brothers and sisters to help each other out. And you got me. You have me here. All of my experience, all of my expertise, bringing it to you free of charge. That's what I want to leave you with before the challenge. The extremism is important. The critical period for sex, I missed it. So for me to get it back, I had to do crazy compensation. Go through my glute gains. Get a big fucking ass that is very, very strong, that girls love. And do all these crazy extreme things like go to strength camp and live at the gym for 8 months, train with Elliot Hulse, train with Mark Novak, train with Shannon Stewart, train with Chris Barnard, train with all these crazy people, go to Colombia, train with this guy from Venezuela who trained with the Russian Olympic weightlifters, Toronto, train with Robin Smith, who is the best personal trainer at Equinox Toronto, Yorkville. All these personal trainers that I've used in my life, I've learned a shit ton from. And I'm so happy to bring all this knowledge to you. I went extreme. You don't have to. I learned. I dug deep and got all this information so I can bring it to you so you don't have to go extreme. But you still have to carry out these things in your life. And if I've left anything out, post it in the Facebook group and I'll be happy to help you more and answer more questions. And now for the challenge. I want you to incorporate just one movement that I have told you about. Just one movement. Incorporate that into your workout. Video it for Instagram or for Facebook. Just video it, 10 seconds, and post it in the Facebook group. What specific exercise did you incorporate into your already protocol that you do at the gym, and how that helped you get your sex muscles activated? That's what I want to know for this challenge. All right, post it. That's the truths for today. Thanks very much for listening. I will see you tomorrow.